Hello everyone, so this is Kevin, and in this video I'm going to show you my capstone project after attending the 5-day AI agents intensive course with Google and Kaggle. So I have created a capstone project by building AI agents using Google's agent development kit. So it's a modular framework for developing AI agents and orchestrating the AI agents. So let's dive into the demo. So we have created a DependaBot, and what it does is it's a workflow orchestrator for engineering teams. So uh, it is mainly focuses for developers. So we have um, we as a developers we have a lot of tasks um, to write code and to deploy stuff and as well as to work on multiple technologies and I just want to automate the boring tasks that we do every day to code review and as well as to fix the codes and also to update Jira tickets and in case to check the company policies and to identify so whether we can do certain tasks of inside of the company. Uh, so we are trying to automate this process, and it's a simple bot, and it's developed with Google's ADK. And as far as the problem statement, as I already told you, and this kind of reduces the manual overhead and also it increases the productivity of the developers to focus more on complex tasks rather than writing emails to bosses and reviewing 1,000-line code to update Jira tickets and as well as to identify certain policies and to keep our rules in check. Right. So the first thing we need to have is we need to install the Google ADK. So currently we are using Python inside of the Kaggle notebooks. And as you can see, I have already installed and the requirements already satisfied. And so we are up and done. So once it is installed, so as far as the DependaBot, we have the multi-agent system overview. We have sub agents for reviewing our code and fixing our inefficient code, and as well as for drafting messages and mails and fixing a grammatical mistakes. We have a communication agent to check whether we follow the rules of the companies or we follow the strict uh, coding practices followed by the company policies. Like it checks based on the company's policy knowledge. And we have the JiraAgent. So currently we are using a mock JiraAgent where we cannot utilize the Jira APIs inside of the Kaggle environment. So we have used a mock JiraAgent that just depicts how it creates Jira tickets. And finally, the orchestrator agent, which just binds the other agents, which is the brain. So based on the user's responses and the prompts, so it just redirects to the particular agent we have. And here is the system architecture. The orchestrator agents produces the final structured response from the other sub agents, and we have the Gemini API model. We are using 2.5 Flash Lite, and the rule keeper uses a policy document and to answer based on the company policy's knowledge and to update its knowledge. So a quick overview: to use this notebook, we need to have the Kaggle secrets in the add-ons, and I have already added the secret to it. And now for the setup and imports, we are going to import the Google API secret, and as well as we are going to import some packages from the ADKs. So the Gemini API key is set, and now we are up and waiting for the ADK imports to be ready. So here you can see what and all we have imported here. We are imported the Gemini and in-memory session service, and also the runner, and from retry configs. So then the next thing, we need to load our policy document, and which has certain rules. As you can see, I have imported here in the datasets. So this just says about some coding practices that the companies follow, and the deployment policies, the deployment window, and the weekend's deployment, code quality, what are the rules that needs to be followed as a developer inside of the company. And yeah, so I have updated the policies document, and imported, we need to import it here and sanitize the policy text. And right now it's an empty file, so we need to remove some curly braces and other characters um, that will affect our agent instructions. So now we have the policies loaded, and now we have the code review agent. So we have defined the name of the agent, the model, and that we are going to use, and the instructions. So this just reviews the code, and returns a short list of issues and suggested improvements. And then we have the CodeFixAgent. So this just directly fixes the code and finds faults in it. And then we have the communication agent, and here we can draft mails, and we can correct our grammatical mistakes here in this communication agent. And then we have the policy agent, and as we already know, we have imported the policies document to it, and we have loaded and stored in this particular variable. And now let's run this, and it always answers, and it does not give us a biased response. And so this is the instruction we have given. And yes, now our policy agent is ready. And then we have the mock Jira agent. As I said, we currently don't have any Jira APIs here, but it just gives a text description on to draft a Jira ticket or a bug, and with the title, summary, and the priority. Right, and going down, we have the orchestrator agent, the brain, and here we are routing based on the user prompts or instructions to navigate to the particular agent using tools. Like we have the tools to redirect to it, and if the message contains a code agent fixes, CodeFixAgent. If we need to draft mail a message, communication agent, check our policies, policy agent. Then if we want to file a ticket, we have Jira agent. And after that, we are going to set up a session service, and with the in-memory session service to keep the agent in memory about what we are giving the prompts. And then we have the helper functions to initiate the session. And let's run it again. And after going down, now we are going to test it out. So let's test our agents, and here we have the review this code, the assistant answers here, and then we have the fix, and then we have the session communicate, and here the agent answers with the drafted mail, and is it allowed to deploy after 9 p.m. So yes, we can have with the managers and presence of an SRE approval. And finally, we have the create a ticket for login on production. So let's run it again to see if everything works. So we have our examples given in this JSON, and we are just using a for loop to run everything one by one. So we have initialized the runner, the session backend service using our orchestrator agent. We are using function calls to it. Right now we have some warnings. So as we go through it, and then we have the helper functions that will be reused throughout the document, and here we have some sample HTMLs. Yeah, so the agent is running. So fix this code, then we have the communication here and the session policy and the Jira ticket. Good. So all our agents are running well. So the test cases are passed. And there are some warnings, but these are just the warnings that we can ignore. And now I'm having this proxy host, and we are having some UI to interact with the agents in an interface. Right, so once if I run this up, so we have set it up some HTML tags and some decorations for the interface, and this is optional, so it will create some files in our working directory. To it, as we can see, we have the sample agent. So once if we run this command, so we have the init and the agent.python file will get um, into it, and it will create the sample agent files. And as I've already done this, I'm skipping this step, and now I'm getting the URL prefix from the helper function. And as you can see, we need to run this below command to expose the agent to the interface. After that, so once it is up and running, then we can go directly to the web UI and test it out in real. Right, now the web server has started at this particular port. Let's just click on the cell, and this is our interface. Let's try testing our agent. Hi, could you please fix and view my code? Let's just type in a sample JavaScript with an error. Yeah, so it just works well. You get a small syntax error, just corrects it with the correct one and some best practices. Yeah, so our code inspector agent runs well. Let's go and draft a new mail. Draft an email to my boss for a sick leave for 3 days. Yeah, it just goes and drafts a mail. Then what else we have? We have the policy agent. Let's just say, am I allowed to delete my entire code base according to our company policies? Just response. Like we have an uncertainty, intellectual property, just tells us about the rules, and review the company policies like without explicit authorization. So our policy knowledge is also there. So PolicyAgent also works well. Then the next thing, final thing, we need to create Jira ticket. Login failure in Amazon and JiraAgent to the developers at high priority. Yeah, it just gives a mock Jira ticket details, right? And it just gives a summary description and the impact that is caused and steps to repro and the expected behavior, assignee, and yeah, how to use this in Jira. So if we connect to the real APIs, this ticket would have been created and under a story or an epic. So let's just try if it remembers my previous text. The previous question I have asked you. Yeah, so the previous question also, it remembers and keeps track of our prompts. So these are the AI agents, and as part of our future enhancements, we could use a real Jira API integration outside of this Kaggle environment. It's highly possible that we have the Jira ticketing uh, APIs, and once if we integrate it to our agents, it will automatically create the agents tickets for us. And for the policy engine, like we can upload more knowledge to it, and now as you can see, now we don't have a persistent session backend, but we have a session that once if it closes, the agent won't be in memory, so we need to have persistent sessions using some SQLite or any other databases. We can connect it to our agents, and for some larger analysis of codes or bug analysis, we can use for other Gemini models, like where we have the pro versions for Gemini, so we can use it for larger and deeper analysis, right? So this is about the DependaBot, and if you liked this video, like and comment, and I will update this notebook in the description, and you can take it out and try it out if you want. And if you have any troubleshooting, let me know in the comments. Yeah, so that's it. Until next time, bye. Ciao.